to show you how to filter cases, which means just temporarily removing cases from a data set so you can run your analysis. We often have to do this with a two-way ANOVA, where we have a categorical variable, but not all of the levels of the variable are big enough. So for example, let's look at chapter 4b, personality.sav, and let's look at the education variable. So the first thing we want to do is to run a frequency to see how big our cell sizes are. So let's look at education, and we just run a frequency, and what do we see here? So we're looking for each of these individual, what I call cell sizes, how many people are in each level of the education variable. So we have plenty of people in freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, but we only have 15 grad students, and one person is coded as 6, and we don't know what that is. In addition, we have 30 missings. We have 395 cases, so it would be okay to drop these 16 cases from our analysis. So we're just going to filter them out. We're not going to drop them permanently. We're just going to temporarily filter them out. So first we identify what levels of the variable we want to filter out, and that's grad student and this number 6. Then we look in our values column of our variable view in our data set, because we have to know the code. So the code for grad student is 5, and then the number 6 we want to eliminate. So I'm writing that down so I remember. What I'm going to do is filter so that education is going to include only a score or value of 4 or less, and that's what we're going to be doing. So to do that, we go to data, and then we go down to select cases, and we are going to select our education variable, and we're going to say if condition is satisfied, and we are again going to kick over our education variable, and because we've already looked at the codes, we want it to equal less than or equal to 4. So we just hit the less than or equal to 4. So that means it's going to include codes 1, 2, 3, and 4. We don't want codes 5 and 6. So that's how we do that. And we click continue. And then we're going to hit paste because we like to keep all of our syntax. And oh dear, I have a bunch of syntax files open. So let's see where it got put. So it got put right here at the bottom of my syntax file. So I'm going to highlight it, and then I'm going to run it. And there you see we ran it. And then we're going to look at the data view of our data set, and we see some cases are crossed off. So we're going to scroll over way over here, and we see our filter variable. So let's sort our filter variable so we can see very quickly how many cases. We're going to sort in descending order. How many cases? Oh, I should have sorted in ascending order. Data, sort cases in ascending order. And we can see, okay, these cases got left out. So these 30 cases are not included because they're missings. And then we have these 16 zeros, which means they were not selected, so they're also filtered out. So it filters out both the missings, which we want, and the 5s and the 6s. So all the cases that were filter equals 1, that means they were selected, and that education, which we're now just going to run another descriptive frequency on, just to double check, and sure enough, we have dropped those cases just temporarily. If we close the data set and reopen it, they will show up again, or we can deselect the filter. So that's how you filter out cases from a variable, which you may need to do for the two-way ANOVA assignment on a categorical variable.